Hey guys, and welcome back to the Lighting Controls Podcast, live from LEDucation. We have our next amazing guest, who you may recognize from being with us in the past. But before we jump into it, let me remind everyone, this live stream is presented by the LCA, the Lighting Controls Academy.
And it's financially supported by the National Association of Innovative Lighting Distributors, or NAILD. Check out our sponsor for this live streaming all day, repspec.ai. They are an excellent platform. If you want some assistance on your lighting designs, lighting controls designs, whatever, check them out. repspec.ai is their URL. But let's get into it. So, Brian, welcome to the live stream.
Thank you for having me. This is great.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think, this year LEDucation is really interesting because they had like that little designer time.
Yeah. Yeah.
That it did seem to kind of fix the bottleneck a little bit.
I think so. I think it was great to have that that little bit of just there's a local designers, local time with the agents, local time with their regional sales managers, and just not feel like you're just coming onto the floor inundated day one, minute one, hour one, and just be like, I do not know how to navigate this space. I think that the flow is at least spread out a little bit right now. It's looking great. Yeah.
But also, I mean, I just saw the stuff come in through my email like last week about Boston Lights.
Yes, yes. So it's also nice to get over that major hurdle as the president of the DLF New England. So congratulations to the DLF New York for LEDucation for this year. But to get over that hurdle and get through those learning curves of a new space, a new venue for Boston Lights, how to do that, what's the overall experience, and obviously there are things to just observe and learn here about how to just execute all those elements. But then also coming here and being like, okay, I'm not necessarily on like I was during Boston Lights, and being able to just be like, okay, we're going to make it easier, we're going to make it better. We're really we're also expanding. We're going to have 160 booths instead of 140 booths.
Wow.
So, and it's still going to be in the same venue in the same space. So we're just narrowing the aisles a little bit, encouraging engagement from both sides, and just making that a little bit more accessible before, ideally what we do is we'd open up to the second floor.
Wow,
and see where it goes from there. But yeah, and then just trying to figure out, like, do we have a controls corner? Do we, how do we overall, change up the spacing, or do we just go agent-centric? So there are some things that we're figuring out.
I mean, I think a controls corner sounds cool.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because it's just like, oh, okay, I'm not going to go to that booth, but it's like, you may not go to that booth, but that doesn't mean that the people who need to go to that booth
aren't
going to spend as much time as possible at that booth. So
no, totally.
Yeah.
And there's so much. The idea of sort of separating it a little bit, I think, does kind of help diversify the crowd a little bit.
Yeah.
I will say though, to the DLF New York, I'm still a little upset. Integrator was not an option on my badge. I had to manually type in Integrator, but it's okay. It's okay. I digress. But either way, I think it's a great thing, right?
Yeah.
You're right. There are going to be a lot of people who don't need to go down that aisle necessarily and look at all the lighting fixtures when they just want to be in sort of controls world, right?
Yeah, but it also opens up to, with Boston Lights, we're trying to engage also in saying, like, this is a lighting specification-centric show.
Yes.
And so it's not just about lighting designers.
Yep.
It's about the electrical engineers and the contractors and the distributors that really need to get their eyes and hands on this product to better understand the overall arc of the industry. So by broadening up that element, we're able to really look at the possibilities of growth and say, like, it's not just about the designers and entertaining the designers, but it's also just about, like, who really is involved in our markets and how can we educate them better and further and get the integrators involved and let them know, that these, like, port lighting exists. Right. And so we're just trying to, again, round out the corners because we had a really successful show last year. And so we're thinking just the overall experience and focusing on that experience will help that narrative and get us over the other hurdles that we just had with just getting name out and growth, because we're going to grow. I don't see why the 160 booths wouldn't sell, because we sold every booth last year.
Yeah, and how do you continue to get that outreach to those contractors and try and engage them and bring them into the show so that it's not just designers and students? And
Right. Yeah. So part of it is making sure that the agents are engaged and saying, like, you need to get all of your customers, and asking that question, who is your customer? Because, for lighting manufacturers, they don't necessarily think that the contractors, the distributors are their customer, when in fact, absolutely. They're the ones that are buying the product, having to deal with the warranties, having to deal with all this other stuff, and, you know, quoting it out and making sure that everything is there in the bill of materials, right? And so it's a matter of making sure that everybody understands every part of the process and understanding all the product that is going to be exchanged. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and if you want some assistance with that from an AI, you should check out our sponsor, repspec.ai. Thanks for joining the live stream. And Brian, thank you for hopping on.
Thank you guys. Really appreciate it.